Commander Replay. It's Naya Voltron time with Palladia Moors the Ruiner. Can Palladia Moors battle their way through this awkward scoop fest? Find out next on Commander Replay. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Palladia Moors the Ruiner. Taking a look at our opening hand, we've got 3 lands, we've got an Hour Revelation. Ooh, Blasphemous Act? Yeah, I like this hand. Let's keep. Especially, we know that we're going to be needing board wipes against Animar. Ooh, Child of Alara. That's a card. This is going to be an interesting game. So we're playing Palladia Moors the Ruiner, and we are facing off against Animar, Soul of Elements, Child of Alara, and Muldrotha the Gravetide. Played Muldrotha on the channel just yesterday, actually. Burgeoning for the Muldrotha opponent. That seems very good. I'm going to go with the Temple Garden first because I want to try to get the white down for Hour of Revelation. We'll go tapped and pass the turn. We drew into a Godo, by the way, which will be good in the late game and help us get some of our equipments to finish the game out, but we'll be a little bit slow at this current moment. The Muldrotha opponent gets a Cabal Coffers. Cabal Coffers in a 3-color deck is pretty ambitious. However, Muldrotha is getting all of the ramp going. Find out how many lands they have in their hand, because they're about to have them all in play. Opponent's going to Demonic Tutor. Wonder if they going for Urborg, probably. Would make the most sense. Yep, there's Urborg. We draw a Clifftop Retreat. Excellent. That's going to help on our white plan. Play the Clifftop Retreat. Burgeoning will trigger again. See if opponent's out of lands. Yep, out of lands. And we will pass turn like that. Rampant Growth for the Animar opponent. I wish we had a Rampant Growth on our second turn. That would have been nice. So far, we got a fairly slow developing... Ooh, that's a Mazavith. We're going to need to find our Strip Mine. Mazavith is really bad for our deck. Although, I guess we can hit Mazavith with the Beast Within if we really need to. Opponent's going to play an Oracle of Moldiah. That's bad. Shows a land on top, plays the land, has a Mana Bond on top. That's not going to do a whole lot for them since they've already played all their lands. And that's a Glenalendra. Ooh. Glenalendra is a magic card. There's Scattered Groves. It does unfortunately come in tapped. I think, oh man, I think we play the tap land right here. It's not worth running Duelist Heritage out there because we already know that we want Hour of Revelation anyway. Animar will probably start coughing creatures out very soon, so that should, unfortunately, once opponent untaps with blue mana, Glenalendra is going to make life really miserable. So Animar coming into play. Our commander, by the way, Palladia Moors the Ruiner, is 3 red, white, green for a 6/6 Flying Vigilance Trample. It has hexproof as long as it hasn't dealt damage yet. As I found out in the first game that I played right before this, that carries across turns. So once it does damage, it just no longer has hexproof. I thought that was like an until end of turn kind of thing, even though it does not state those words on the card. But no, once it hits one time, then it loses hexproof. So... that ability is... It'd be nice if that ability was just a teeny bit stronger. I get why they didn't go just full hexproof. Cards like Simic Sky Swallower are just impossible to deal with. Having a big creature with flying and trample and giving it either Shroud or hexproof just so hard to deal with. I get why they didn't do that. They put something a little more flavorful on it. But at the same time, I think it's also just... I think it could have been just a teeny bit better somehow. So, caught a break right there in that the Oracle of Moldiah did not catch 2 lands off the top. However, the longer the game goes, the more likely that is to happen. There's Muldrotha coming down. Ooh. Opponent does leave 1 blue up. We draw a Cinderglade. Do not have 2 or more basic lands. Ew, the questions. I think we play the Cinderglade right here. Opponent's going to play a Temple, get to Scry one time. And Animar just scoops it up. So, apparently Animar's got a lot of nothing. So what we need to do is hope that opponent only leaves 1 blue mana up, again on their next turn, and then Beast Within at their end step, and then play a board wipe. Guardian of Solitude coming down. Looks like opponent's on the Spirit Arcane plan with their Child of Alara deck. Whenever you cast a Spirit or Arcane spell, target creature gains flying until end of turn. That just doesn't seem all that impressive. Opponent catches a land off the top. It's a high market, showing an Azusa on top of their deck, also not helpful for their current position. Opponent's going to send Muldrotha at us. It's going to hurt a little bit, but we're just going to take it. Need them to tap out mana before we can really do much of anything. And they're just going to end the turn, so that's not great. We're just going to keep playing lands. Play the Stomping Ground tapped. Yep, we're just going to keep passing the turn. Not spending mana is generally a good way to lose the game quickly, but wasting our cards just also doesn't seem worth it either. Opponent's going to play Reweave. Target permanent's controller sacrifices it. If the player does, reveal cards from the top of their library until they reveal a permanent, shares a card type with the sacrifice permanent. And opponent gets to give something flying. Ooh, alright, so opponent's going to use their Glenalendra. And this is actually a good thing. So that means that Glenalendra is going to persist one time. It's going to come back. But this gives us a reasonable chance now to try and get through the Glenalendra lock. Opponent showing Sylvan Library on top of their deck. That will propel them into more action. Right now they have 2 more or less dead cards in their hand in Azusa and Mana Bond. Opponent can send Muldrotha back at us, so coming in with the Muldrotha beats. We're just going to take it again. Down to 28, 12 commander damage. Opponent passes the turn. Yep, here we go. So, Beast within the Glenalendra. Glenalendra goes down. Nice. Brings it back to our turn. We draw a forest. We'll play the forest. Opponent gets a burgeoning trigger. Question is, our Revelation Blasphemous Act. Our Revelation will be... Actually, we don't have triple white. We do have triple white. With our Revelation, that would get rid of the burgeoning. Our Revelation gets rid of only the burgeoning. Blasphemous Act. There are 6 creatures in play, so it would be 3 to cast. Yeah, I think it's going to be Blasphemous Act right here. Oh, Blasphemous Act is 4. 4 is bad. Because the other thing that I want to do is get rid of this Urborg, which will make Cabal Coffers pretty much useless. And then opponent's going to be hurting on mana. So I think it's going to be our Revelation. Oh, our Revelation is full price right now. Well, in that case, just Blasphemous Act. So all the creatures getting swept away, and we will pass turn like that. Puskami has the ability to destroy a non-black creature. That's a good ability. Little expensive at 7. Does have Soul Shift, though. Opponent's going to play Vraska's Contempt on the Puskami. That's good news for us. Opponent's going to play Sylvan Library. That's a card that can hurt us. We want to get rid of that Sylvan Library. Because right now, opponent doesn't have useful things in hand. Sylvan Library will find them many more useful things. Play our Cavern of Souls. We draw into a Swords to Plowshares. Very, very helpful. We're going to name Dragon. I think I'm going to cast my Commander this turn. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to play the Hour Revelation. Like I said, we know 2 of the cards in our opponent's hand aren't very good for where they're at right now. So Sylvan Library is just going to do too much for them. Did we just pay 6 mana to remove a Sylvan Library? Yes, we did. Oh, we tapped our lands not ideally for... Well, I guess we had to use all of our white, so we won't be able to Swords of Plowshares anything this turn, but we can next turn. My concern is they recast Muldrotha and then recast Glenalendra, because that's just a nasty, nasty combo. Opponent's going to play a Horn of Greed. That could actually help us a lot. Kind of want to land on the top now. There's a land. Play the land. Draw a card. It's a Sun Titan. And we have a fetch land. Alright, crack the fetch land. Get a Taiga. Play Sun Titan. Get Arid Mesa. Crack the Arid Mesa again. Let's get Plateau. This time I'm going to try to shut off opponent's mana right here. So we're going to go Song of the Dryads on Urborg, which makes Cabal Coffers useless. Means that opponent has 1 black mana source, 2 green mana sources, and 2 blue mana sources. So their colors are a little bit limited, especially if you're trying to make multiple plays in a turn. Thief of Hope coming into play. Whenever you cast a Spirit or Arcane spell, target opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. And it's got Soul Shift. Finally getting some ramp going around turn 9 with the Sun Titan. It took us forever. This deck has so much ramp in it, too. I don't know how we missed all of it through the early turns of the game. Opponent says they would have loved to draw a forest, or anything that doesn't have 2 green in its mana cost. Oh, and they scoop it up. Nice. So, cutting off the mana on Muldrotha and forcing them into the scoop. I thought that might happen, actually. Based on the 2 cards that we saw go into their hand, which were all mana-related, and they're just out of lands, so that worked out. There's a Canopy Vista into our hand. Play the Canopy Vista. Right here, we're going to fire down Godo. Actually, no. Since we're playing Palladium Ores, we'll get Palladium Ores. Cast Palladium Ores. Cast Duelist Heritage. Attack with Sun Titan. Get Arid Mesa. And give Sun Titan Double Strike. Opponent's going to block with the Thief of Hope. They'll get to return something to their hand. Probably going to go for the Guardian of Solitude. Okay. I feel good about where we're at right now. Basically, all we got to do is slam Godo next turn, get Blackblade Reforged, and that should do it. Guardian of Solitude coming down. That's probably not going to be good enough. Opponent missing out on one of their colors all game from being able to cast Child of Alara. We draw a Worldly Tutor. Crack the Arid Mesa. Let's get a Mountain. Play Godo, get Blackblade Reforged, equip Blackblade Reforged. It's a 17/17. This should do it. Attack with both Sun Titan on the Arid Mesa again, and Duelist Heritage on the Palladium Ores. And opponent's gonna block. Shouldn't be too much of an issue with the trample. Takes 18 on the first hit, loses hexproof, and takes 18 more. 36 commander damage. Send it in the battle cruiser. Kind of a weird game in that Animar didn't just go crazy and somehow had a lot of nothing going on. As far as I know, Animar is a very, very consistent deck, and it's very hard to stop. So surprised that our opponent didn't have much going on. And then weird that Muldrotha got off to such a good start and just couldn't follow it up with anything. They kept drawing cards that cared about playing lands, and by that point they had played all their lands, so they just didn't have much going on. Once we shot down the Urborg so that Cabal Coffers couldn't make them tons and tons of mana, that took away their ability to recast things like Muldrotha and start getting stuff out of their graveyard. But like I said, kind of an odd game. Also, we were facing Spirit Tribal. Nothing against Spirit Tribal, but the spirits from Kamigawa are just underpowered, so that's a thing. Honestly, all three of our opponents were mana screwed, because even the Spirit opponent never found their fifth color.
So because of all the early scoops, we didn't get a great feel of how this commander would actually play out in a 4-player game. However, after finding out that the hexproof ability goes away until it leaves play, essentially, I became really disinterested in actually playing this commander, so I'm not planning to go back and revisit it. If you want to play Naya Voltron, there are a handful of way better options. Samut is way better at the Voltron game if you're planning to go with equipments, but it also allows you to play other big creatures too. And the other one is Ural the Miststalker is the quintessential Naya Voltron commander, and that allows you to play more of an Enchantress style deck, although you can put some equipments in there if you want to. But I think you're going to be much better served playing either of those two commanders if Naya Voltron is where you want to be. So like I said, I'm just not super excited to really give this commander another go. It feels so glassy that you're going in on this one creature that is protected sometimes, but not all the time, and I don't know, I just don't love the way that it feels.
Kind of a weird little game, but we got to see Palladia Moors deal out 36 damage to a player, so that's always fun, right? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.